is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during games. Think you know your stuff? Get in on our $200,000 mega contest and pick 5 games against the spread every week for your chance at weekly prizes and a share of $200,000. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Bet online. The game starts here.
Like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your chain for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
All right, shout out to the fam, man. Appreciate y'all for being in this thing. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. How y'all doing, man? Shout out to the fam. Almost through another week, fam. We almost to the big game popping up here on Sunday. The Bucs matchup, a very, very, very popular week that was happening. A lot of action, a lot of stuff happened this week, man. We knew that Derek Carr got hurt on Monday Night Football. Who would be the backup quarterback? Wasn't Jake Haener, it's Spencer Rattler. He'll be getting the start. We heard what Dennis Allen said yesterday. Saints gearing up, getting ready for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game. And boy, it's a whopper chopper, man. I'm not going to tell you no difference. Big ups to the fam. Appreciate y'all for being in the stream. Much love, Brother Tory. All right, shout out to you as always, my brother. Appreciate you. I am him 504. Big ups to you, Young City. Good to see you. Ty, big ups to you. Brother DeWright, shout out to you, my brother. Good to see you. Brandon, I see you. Backwoods Gundam, shout out to you. Inevitable, shout out to you, fam. Good to see you as well. Big Valley's in this thing. Be great, Josh. What's up, Kathleen? Shout out to the Queens. Brother Black Majors in this thing. Bronze Flat Power God. Much love, fam. Bullard's Family Travel Vlog. Brother Anthony is in this thing. Shout out to you. English is in this thing. Much love, man. Appreciate all the family members, man. Lifestyle. Brother James, how you doing, sir? L-Dub, big ups, fam. Brother Joseph, how you doing, fam? Appreciate all y'all, man. Thank y'all for stopping by tonight, man. Much love. What's up, Brother JT? How you doing, sir? Appreciate you as always, my man. Listen, fam. Let's hop into it, fam. You know, I'm a little later than what I wanted to be tonight. I had some other reports that I was working on, Pelican post game report, some other stuff that I was doing, working on some boxing reports for this upcoming weekend. So I'm a little later. But anyway, big ups to you guys. Let's hit this injury report, man, while we get into this thing. Saints Thursday injury report. As always, 11 Saints listed on the injury report. And remember, we wanted to find out exactly where Taysom Hill was in terms of this injury report, meaning where was he at in his play, because you know that little saying, a little rhyme I have about Klint Kubiak, who we do have as presser, him and Joe Woods. We'll go through that. But you know the little saying I have, with Taysom Hill is away, Klint Kubiak can't call a play. All right, so 11 Saints listed on Thursday's injury report. Yeah, all right, week 6 against the Buccaneers. Tight end Taysom Hill rib injury was DNP'd yesterday and is DNP'd today. That's not good. Guard Cesar Ruiz was also DNP'd with a knee issue. Peyton Turner was limited in action with his knee, so that's a positive. Alvin Kamara gave him a little rest on Wednesday, but was limited. We know what he's dealing with. Derek Carr, of course, won't play this week and is listed as a week-to-week situation. You know, based on the Saints winning this game, you know, if the Saints beat the Buccaneers, you know, we'll see what happened there. Lucas Patrick was shut down. He had a chest issue. He was DNP'd again. Will Harris, who had that hamstring pulled up, is not looking good. Dennis Allen did say that he's a candidate for the injury list. So we'll see what happened with Will Harris. Pete Werner was DNP'd also with a hamstring injury. A lot of hamstring stuff going on. Rashid Shaheed had a little hip issue, but he still practiced. Willie Gay went from limited to fully practiced. That's big. To get Willie Gay just misses one game. I was anticipating Willie Gay missing multiple games. Not so much. He is available to play. So we'll see. Kendre Miller was fully practiced from his hamstring issue. And like we said before, it's good having Kendre Miller. But the question then becomes, with the New Orleans Saints, is, will Klint Kubiak get these guys involved in the offense? He seems to have a terrible difficulty in terms of getting other guys not named Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Alvin Kamara, Taysom Hill involved in the game plan consistently throughout the weeks. He seems to struggle getting other guys not named those guys. And those guys, rightfully, if used properly, should be able to afford you opportunities to use the secondary talent that you have to your benefit. Because sometimes those guys are so impactful that they draw attention and take the attention off the less popular or the less known, less well-known players. Jordan Mims, Jamal Williams. It's a way to use these players during parts of the game. We've seen it throughout the weeks with our adversaries. Our adversaries did use their players in the correct manner against the Saints defense. So anyway, we'll see. It's a long process. And of course, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Graham Barton, the center, was DNP'd. One of the defensive backs, Eisen, was DNP'd. Wide receiver Palmer was DNP'd. So was Cameron Johnson. Another wide receiver was DNP'd. McMillan was limited. Their starting running back, Rashad White, had a foot issue. He went from limited to DNP'd. That's not good. Never a good thing. And both the safeties, Jordan Whitehead and Antoine Winfield Jr., were limited in as well. Fully practiced was Ernest Brown, and he went from his ribs issue and the knee with Big Will Ghostin. He was shut down. Luke Gadecki, concussion, fully practiced at the tackle. And Kalaja Cansey, who's a problem, is fully practiced from his calf issue. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you know, dealing with the storm stuff that happened. Shout out to and prayers up to the Florida family members. I was looking at pictures and images of this storm. I was looking at weird images of the sky, weird images of what people took of the water. Very unnatural stuff going on there. And I'm going to share some with the family members on Q with Big Q, which is we got to get more aggressive in, in our approach and not just be so in terms of our prayers and our thought process about what's happening around us. We need to get more aggressive with our prayers, if you know what I mean. But anyway, this is the injury report, but prayers up to those guys. We know the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to use whatever they feel like they need to do to kind of help in terms of lift the spirits up of the Floridians that were affected by this horrible storm, that happened. But anyway, big ups to you guys. Appreciate you for being in the stream as well. I'm going to try not to hold you too long, man. I won't do a 2-hour stream. I got a lot of stuff to do tomorrow. But shout out to you guys, Brother Neville. Big up, Slim. Good to see you. All right, Chase, Jamaica. Shout out to you, Jamaica. Good to see you. All right. Kendall said the Saints need to put Carr on IR. I got you, bro. It won't happen, fam. That will not happen. All right, not right now. What's up, OG Jerry? Big ups to OG Jerry. Good to see you, brother James. Comments. I hope Rattler pull it out some way. I want him to overcome our injuries and other things to prevent us from winning. This will teach DA arrogance, favoritism, etc. Hurts himself and all of us. I don't. Well, you would only wish, or only hope rather, for Dennis Allen to learn anything. He's been in the league for a long time acting like that, bro. I'm just gonna say it like it is, and I've been said I'll tell you if I know what off code behavior is, and that's off code behavior. Very slimy, backstabby, underhanded off code behavior. That's why his teams are not going to go that far, because you have to have a strong will coach that has a code that is not bendable as the wind does it. It has to be unshakable, unbreakable, and it has to be the foundation of the core of your being. That's keeping it. That means that when people look at you, what you say exhumes, it comes out. Your reputation precedes you in a positive light. That's because you are living the code in which you are speaking, and people can tell. They can tell. It's an energy. It's everything. And when you're not that type of person, then you can't guide anybody to no success over a long-term period of time. You got to have something in you, that leads you, the intangibles. People look and they believe in you. They understand who you are, and they get behind you, and they, your words speak life into them. You have that ability. This guy doesn't have it. I'm not trying to lambaste him. I'm speaking facts. I've seen Dennis Allen here for I don't know how long. He is the recipient of this job by way of an erroneous process known as the good old boy circle, which is what several black head coaches sued several teams in the NFL about. I don't know why the Saints wasn't listed in it, because they participated in it. How you have a guy here for 8 hours and he think he's going to be the coach, and after 8 hours, you give him the offensive coordinator. You get all these other people in here, then turn around and give the job to Dennis Allen. It was all smoke and cover. It's just don't. And when I talk about the stuff, I remember all that. When I'm talking to you guys, all that shit flowing in my thought process while I'm talking about it. All of that is flowing. It's flowing. When I'm talking about Dennis Allen, it's one thing to another while we get here. It's like, okay, you have a certain amount of success and then it goes away. If you don't have to accept what I say for fact, just go buy books. Go read Nick Saban's book. Go pick up Popovich's book. All of these guys have literature. Mike Krzyzewski, the great coach from the UCLA team that won 14 titles. He has a bunch of books, and a lot of those guys read his book. See, it's a process. It's not necessarily a skill that only a handful of people have. It's information and it's discipline. That's what code is. Having a good code, a right code, is something that you live by, because it's a code that most people, it's easy to do because it brings success, it brings integrity, it brings a lot of those things. But also a great component of code is having dignity through adversity. Did you catch that? Let me say it again. I'm gonna say it, then I'm gonna hit my button on there. Y'all know, because we go to church sometimes. Having a code, a successful code, and a righteous code, it affords you the ability to have dignity through adversity.
Talk, boy!
I'm telling you, that's what it's about. You won't fall down like these other guys. You've seen all these entertainers doing this weird stuff, and then they all freaking out on the side of what's going on. All that is dark. All that is done in the dark comes to light. This is no thing. But it's the ones that control it know that. So they'll take this idiot and turn him into the face of it so they can scoot on back and say, see, that was him. Don't let them do it. It's supposed to be a different time when this stuff's supposed to be exposed. They know how it works. Many of us don't know. They know how it works. That's how they can take it and manipulated in a disagreeable way because too many of us don't know how it actually works because we get caught out with the idiot in front. That's why I say if you a boss, you don't get caught with your hand on the work. Look at how the mafia did it. The mob man, the mob boss never was in the room with the work at. He had subordinates. He separated himself to it. Remember, listen to what I'm saying now, because that's how it truly works. But anyway, dignity through adversity, man. That's what it's about. This is life code. A lot of these guys, Dennis Allen, he doesn't have it. That's why he can't sustain success over a long period of time, because it takes certain key attributes that you have to have. And these coaches, if you go read their books, they talk about discipline. They talk about doing it the right way. There's a process of how you do it. And you cannot get away from the universal principle about, when you talk about sports and you got the head coach over the team's energy, intelligence, and everything is the key point in front of the team. So if you got a coach like Sean Payton, a lot of years, Sean Payton's teams mimics Coach Payton's philosophy, his style. They were aggressive. They were good because that was Coach Payton's energy. He knew what he was doing. You see a team that's up and down and all around. That is literally the embodiment of your head coach. Inconsistent, up and down. And the team mimics the ideology and the energy of its head, just like you do. Your body ain't going places your head don't tell it to do it. It's not going to get up and walk outside into traffic if you don't want it to do it. It's just not going to happen. So that's a principle that I understand very well, man. If we're going to have success here, the head has to be right. The head has to be on code. And we see at times I don't even, how you do that to a rookie quarterback? You bench him. But this is the crazy part about it, and people get it. But watch what happened when Derek Carr comes back. Spencer Rattler gonna turn into the emergency quarterback again. See, he tried to do it and see how it turned on him. And I told you all about that before it even played out. I said, fam, he gonna do this, he gonna do that. What I was wrong on was I didn't think that he would ride. I say you forced to ride with Hainer now. He didn't do it. He's like, okay, because he knows that he can't afford it. That rookie gives him a better chance to win than the second-year quarterback that he says is the second-string quarterback. That rookie. So we'll see, man. Brother Marvin says Kubiak better pick up the passing offense. It's crazy. No wide receiver screens, nothing, bro. We talked about this on Patreon. Thank you. You're fuck too kind. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you for the super chat on that, man. It's quite an ordeal, right? All right, let's move on to the next article, man. Look what I found for y'all, man. Let's go over this article right here. You want answers? Here we go. Denver Post. Broncos new practice squad wide receiver A.T. Perry explains why it was, quote, kind of a shock to be waived by the Saints. Perry was drafted in the 6th round out of Wake Forest in 2023. This is A.T. Perry's words from Denver. A.T. Perry hasn't been active for a game yet this year for New Orleans. Still, he was surprised last week, Friday, when the Saints waived him from the 53-man roster. Quote, it was kind of confusing for me, the wide receiver said Thursday after his second day of practice as a member of the Broncos practice squad. Quote, just wanting to play in that offense. Derek Carr was throwing the ball around, and I wanted to be a part of that. Unfortunately, I wasn't. I was on the active roster, but inactive on game days. Each week, they said it was my hand. Quote, it was kind of a shock that I was released just for them to bring another old lineman in, end quote. The Saints signed veteran center Connor McGovern and wanted Perry back on their practice squad, but Denver reached out to his agent quickly after Perry cleared waivers and provided an alternative. Come to the Broncos and start fresh. I just wanted to take my talent somewhere else I can get on the field and have an opportunity to play. I'm just glad to be here, meeting the staff and the players. It's real. It feels real genuine and real around here. I love that. So anyway, this was the A.T. Perry told the Denver press about him. How about that? He said it was his hand. And we went over this before. I covered this in the other show when we talked about the A.T. Perry situation. And why would, if his hand was injured, why are you trying to put him on the practice squad if he got a banged up hand? And I said this before. I said this last show about A.T. Perry and the show before that when we was talking about why did all of a sudden they did that, just to clear open the spot. Well, if the player's hurt, you automatically designate him to the injury report. Just put him on there. That opens a spot. You don't have to release him to open the spot. A lot of people were thinking, hey, Q, maybe there was he was bad business or he was this, that, and third. No, A.T. Perry wasn't a distraction. He wasn't a bad person. A.T. Perry went in there and he's right. He says in this article, he was healthy. And I said this yesterday, matter of fact, that he was a healthy scratch, meaning they didn't use him, which is not a surprise because that's Klint Kubiak. Klint Kubiak is not using these guys. Hell, what you gonna cut Cedric Wilson next? What's the problem with Bub Means? What's wrong with these players? And before I even and think about what I'm asking about some of this stuff, because A.T. Perry's situation is indicative of what's going on to these other players that the Saints have that's on these, or that's a part of the Saints' active offensive room that Klint Kubiak is not getting involved in offense. These guys can't stick a gun to his ribs and say, hey, look, you about to catch this fire. You about to get all of this goddamn in a minute if you don't put me on that field. They can't do that. He has to be able to say, okay, listen, you're tall, you're 6'4", you got 4'3", something, whatever, speedy, quick. We need to put you in the red zone. We could use you, blah, 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 and all this kind of stuff for plays. You know, okay, A.T. Perry missed a few things in practice with all this kind of stuff, but it's up to the coach to get these guys in the game. Jordan Mims, and remember, they picked these guys to be active members of the offensive room. They picked them. I didn't pick them. They had a whole training camp. They had OTAs, training camp. They had all of that. They had all of that. And they decided, hey, this guy's going to make my active roster. This guy's going to make my active roster. This guy's going to make my active roster. This guy's going to make that. And then when they're getting in there, they inactive scratches. He don't get them involved in the offense. And I'm sitting here looking at this dude saying, hey, bro, what's wrong with you? What's the matter here? What's wrong with your mind in your head where you keep doing the same thing over and over again, trying to get a different result? This offense don't resemble nothing what it used to, regardless of and I said this before, regardless if you're dealing with injuries to your offensive line or not, you still can't lose your identity. You still have to be able to do the type of plays that gave you the success you need. The Saints offense looked really bland. It looks bland. It is totally devoid of the pre-snap double motion plays that we've seen that confuses the defense. It is totally different. The last 3 games, watching it, is awful looking. And a lot of times you watch the film, you got these sorry offensive linemen, and I know it's a drop-off in talent, but these guys, it's different if a guy is just swimming past you or throwing your big ass on the ground. It's different when the offensive lineman, you snap the ball and the offensive lineman don't even know who to block. They don't know where to be. And if you're going to run certain plays, those guys been practicing all week. They have to know those plays. And it's amazing, man. Some kind of way they're going to have to figure this out, man. But anyway, I just wanted to share y'all what A.T. Perry was saying, that they told him it was his hand. But it couldn't have been his hand because the Denver Broncos picked him up and put him on their damn team. So he wasn't, how hurt was he really? So, I mean, and once again, like I said, this is like a situation where he wanted to play and he turned him down he wants an opportunity because he felt like he got snited. And this is par for the course when you got an off-code coach that do dumb off-code shit. He was beating around the bush with Kendre Miller about cutting him, and ultimately he did it to to A.T. Perry. And you can really use A.T. Perry. You can use a 6'4" wide receiver with 4.3, whatever it is. I know he got pretty good 4.3 time for a 6'4" guy in the red zone, a size guy. Our offense right now could use that, use the size that he has. And then we got a veteran like Cedric Wilson. Cedric Wilson ain't doing nothing out there. He ain't even involved. So, I mean, I don't know what Klint Kubiak doing. We'll listen at him in a moment to see if he figured it out. Hopefully he do. All right, next, a look at Saints rookie quarterbacks, how they historically fared in their first start. Spencer Rattler will accomplish a rarity in Saints history on Sunday. Here's a look at how the franchise other rookies fared in their first start. Shout out to Brother Bob Rose and the Saints News Network, Brother Kyle T. Mosley, John Hendricks, Brother Ross. The Saints quarterback Derek Carr reportedly missed multiple games because of an oblique injury suffered in Monday night's loss to the Chiefs. The severity was determined by an MRI to the quarterback on Tuesday morning. Carr has completed over 70% of his throws for 989 and 8 touchdowns, 4 picks through 5 games. He's missed only 2 regular season starts because of an injury in all of his 11-year career. Saints come into week 6 ranked 17th in total offense, 4th in points scored, 21st in passing production. They'll now face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this Sunday with a new start at the quarterback behind the offensive line that has also been decimated by injuries. So as you can see, the Saints numbers, the lofty numbers that they exhibited in weeks 1 and weeks 2 are starting to fall down to the offense of what the team is actually performing as. We're not really having the gaudy stats and doing the same things. Definitely, right? Saints have 2 quarterbacks remaining on the roster. Mr. Jake Haener, 4th round pick in 2023 NFL draft from Fresno State, played out the team's final drive for the Chiefs' absence. He's only taken 21 regular season snaps and attempted 8 passes in his brief career. Spencer Rattler is a rookie 5th round choice who has yet to take a regular season NFL snap. After Wednesday practice, Dennis Allen officially named Spencer the starter for Sunday's game against the Bucs. Haener had been Carr's backup in the first 5 contests, while Rattler was designated as the emergency quarterback. With Rattler starting, he becomes a rarity in the history of the franchise. Now in their 58th year of existence, the Saints have only started 6 rookie quarterbacks in their entire history. Here's a look at how all 6 have fared. The first in New Orleans is Archie Manning. Coming out of Mississippi, Saints made Manning the 2nd overall pick in 71 behind Jim Plunkett. Incredibly, Manning remains the only quarterback drafted by the Saints in the 1st or 2nd round in the 58-year history. That is absolutely amazing. Since 71, the Saints haven't taken a quarterback in the 1st or 2nd round. Think about that. Not surprising, Manning was immediately started as a rookie. His first game was at home in Tulane Stadium against the Rams, despite suffering 7 sacks, a microcosm for his career. Manning and the Saints held a 17-6 lead going into the 4th quarter. 2 Ram touchdowns put the Saints behind by 3 late in the game. However, the rookie quarterback drove his team into scoring position in the waning moments. A 1-yard touchdown run by Manning in the final minute gave the Saints a surprising 24-20 victory. The rookie quarterback completed 16 of 29 for 218, a touchdown and an interception while adding 14 yards in a game-winning score on the ground. Larry, and this is going way back, Larry Sepa from 74, 15th round choice out of Michigan in 74. He started 11 games for the Saints in 74, but missed the last 2 of the season. He saw limited action early in the year before getting starts when Manning was sidelined. His first career start was home against the Cardinals. It wasn't a pretty game, but the Saints upset the eventual NFC East champions 14-0. He completed 7 of 17 for 93 yards without a touchdown or an interception. He would just have one start for one more game for the Saints in 75 season finale. New Orleans traded him to Tampa, but he never played another game. In 8 games and 3 starts for the Saints, he completed 37% of his throws for 424, 1 touchdown, and 1 on the ground and 3 picks. Dave Wilson, a lot of people remember old Dave Wilson from back in the day. After a terrific 1980 campaign with the Illinois Fighting, a terrific 1980 campaign with the Fighting Illini, Wilson had eligibility issues that led the Saints picking him in the 1st round of the 81 supplemental draft as a potential heir apparent to Archie Manning, who was ultimately traded away in 1982. Wilson began his rookie year behind Manning and Bobby Scott. He relieved Scott in weeks 3 and was starting for an injured Manning before getting his first start. Unfortunately for Wilson, that would come on the road against the eventual Super Bowl champion San Francisco 49ers. He threw his first touchdown early in the game against the Niners, giving the Saints a 7-0 lead. He completed just 11 of 22 for 180 yards with a score and an interception before being replaced by Manning in a 21-14 loss. Bobby Hebert in 1985, not technically a rookie. Hebert entered the NFL with the Saints after 3 outstanding seasons with the Michigan Panthers and the Oakland Invaders of the USFL. He wouldn't join the Saints until partway in the 85 campaign and sat behind Dave Wilson for most of the 85-86 before becoming a full-time starter in 87. He got his first career start in week 11 of the 85 campaign against the Packers. The Saints were routed 38-14. Hebert eventually caught his first and only career NFL touchdown in the fourth quarter from Guido Merkens. However, he was also sacked 6 times and completed 18 of 36 passes for 180 yards on the day. Despite the result, Hebert started the last 6 of the games of the 85 and had 5 touchdowns against 4 interceptions, ultimately lead the Saints to their first ever winning season and playoff berth in 1987, along with a postseason berth in 91-92. He played 7 years with the Saints before playoffs out the final 4 years, playing the playoffs out of the final 4 years of his career with the hated Falcons. Over his time in New Orleans, he had a 58.5 completion percentage, over 14,000 yards and 85 touchdowns against 75 interceptions. Danny Waffle, oh my good, awful Waffle. 97, Heisman Trophy winner, national championship. In 96 with Florida, the Saints selected Waffle with the 4th round choice. In 97, this is one of Dicker's choices. Heath Shuler started the season for Mike Dicker, Heath Shuler. But Waffle saw work in the season opener when he replaced Shuler in the 38-24 loss to the Rams. He threw his first touchdown, but otherwise completed 4 of 12 for 69 yards and an interception. Ian Book. Y'all remember Ian Book? After a standout career at Notre Dame, the Saints made Book a 4th-round selection in 21's draft. His preseason was marked with uneven play at best as a rookie. However, he was considered a developmental prospect with no chances of playing in his first year. That all changed on Monday night against the Dolphins in Week 16. Starting quarterback Jameis Winston was lost for the season back in Week 8, and the other potential quarterbacks were Taysom Hill and Trevor Siemian were ruled out because of C-19. A combination of injuries and C-19 sidelined 21 New Orleans starters on major contributors against Miami. This left an already extremely raw Book with a laughable shorthanded squad for his first NFL start. Neither quarterback or team stood a chance. Book was sacked 8 times, completed 12 of 20 for 135 and 2 picks, and a 20-16 loss. I remember that. That was an awful game in Ian Book. That pretty much crushed whatever he was doing. His that really just messed him all up. When that game, how they did him, they tore him up. And I think that really kind of the Saints looked at Ian Book and they were like, they got, they just think they put him on the practice. Then they put him on the practice squad and allow somebody to pick him off of there or something. Or was he traded? I forget what it was. Let me finish the story. What happened to him? All right, let me see, because I forget what happened to him. Let's see. Neither quarterbacks to the channel. Okay, Book during the 2022 preseason since his departure. Hold on. He said that has been the only action Book has seen to date in his career. Saints released Book. Yeah, they released him during the 2022 season. Damn, they just put him on the street. The last 4 rookie quarterbacks to start for the Saints have lost their first game. None of the completion percentage or yardage totals were pretty, with 6 quarterbacks combining for 2 touchdown passes and 6 interceptions in their initial starts. Only Archie and Bobby had any amount of somewhat sustained success, and really Bobby Hebert had a lot of experience in the other league coming into this. He wasn't much of a rookie, so I wouldn't call him a rookie. With perhaps the sake of their season on the line, the Saints hope that Spencer Rattler can reverse that trend. So, Ian Book, Bobby Hebert, Dave Wilson, Danny Awful Waffle, and all these old guys. Let's see what the man could do, man. I just wanted to that was a good article right there, but Bob's kind of showing his New Orleans Saints great Saint think tank historian hat right there. That was pretty good. All right, before we get to the stuff that's going on with hear from what's his face, Klint Kubiak. Here's what I wanted to show you guys right here. And you've probably seen this before. This is from Jeff Nowak. Shout out to him. Did the Saints have a 3-game? He said, did the Saints have a 3-game losing streak? And this is something that I showed you guys before, where if you take a look at it, it just shows this is a very, very interesting statistic that Jeff Nowak is presenting here. Over the decade, every time the Saints team had a 3-game losing streak, it ended with no playoffs. It happened in 2014 to 2016 and 21 through currently. The crazy part about it is no 3-game losing streak. Each, you see 17, 18, 19, and 20, they went to the playoffs. This is a very interesting trend. 3-game losing streak usually ends with no playoffs. How about that? Very interesting stat. Very interesting, to say the least. All right, but anyway, man, let's keep it moving, man. Let's kind of get on to the next side and kind of slide into this discussion here. As we got Klint Kubiak on the screen. We're going to hear what he had to say today about the offense. And really, it's up to this gentleman right here. This guy's got to get the head out of his, you know what? He got to pull it out of the sand. And I don't know what's going on. He got a one-track mind where you just don't want to use anybody but L. Well, I'm relying on L. You pick these guys, you got to some kind of way get them involved. You can't tell me that Jordan Mims can't help, or Bub Means can't help, or you make these guys active members of the offense. You got to get these guys involved in some type of capacity to help out the offense. You got to. And the Saints really didn't do too much in terms of signing a new offensive lineman to bring in. I don't know. If I look at the tape, I was not pleased with the performance of these guys. I'm not. You got a bunch of injuries. You got these other guys banged up. Lucas Patrick was absolutely dreadful. Many plays in the game, the Kansas City game. And you're on a 3-game losing streak, pal. You got to be trying different things, doing different things. You got to get it shaking and baking. Listen. This game here is a really important game to the Saints. They got to break the snide, man. They got to break the 3-game losing streak and get on the right side of things. Things going to get really rough really soon. Anyway, let's hear what this guy got to say about the offense. Here we go. Put one in the chat if y'all can hear.
A little bit about what went into the decision with Spencer and starting with Steve and that led to that.
Yeah, just discussions with coach and our coaching staff. And this week, it's Spencer's turn, and both guys are extremely capable. That's a good problem to have. We have 2 guys that are we have a lot of confidence in and that we trust. So this week is Spencer's turn.
What have you seen from him play-wise, ability-wise?
Yeah, I think since he came here in training camp, he showed his ability on, why he was a highly touted guy coming out. But I think something about him that stands out is his humility and his work ethic. And he's a really good teammate. I think his teammates have a lot of respect for him.
Why don't you describe what his strengths are, like what he does best? What would you say?
Proprioception, just feeling the pocket around him, just feeling all 5 eligibles, things you can't coach.
The fact that he begins preseason, not speaking too great, not for opportunity catapults and becomes a starter in a situation, what has he done to show or grow with that get an opportunity?
Yeah, well, truth be told, since training camp ended, there's very little opportunity for those guys. They have to make their hay on scout team, and they have to grind in the meeting room. And I would say both of them have been tremendous in that area, and they've made the most of their limited opportunities there.
That pocket skills is something guys have. It's not coachable or
you can coach everything. You try to coach everything, and I think that is a strength of his. Yeah.
With a young quarterback like this you kind of streamline what you're giving for this thing.
Yeah, try to pare things down for him. A great thing about him and Jake both, they're very intelligent guys that have, they've really grinded through these first 4 weeks of staying involved in the game plan, staying really heavily involved. And Coach Dinoco does a phenomenal job of getting with them early and late. And so I don't feel like we're having to dumb it down for him at all. I think he's fully capable of handling full game plan.
Was there a difference between
Is that right? Is that right? Oh, okay. That's pretty promising then. All right. Okay.
who you wanted he did that versus actually preparing for a game? Like, was there a reason Jake was technically QB2?
I think there's a lot of discussion that went into it, and I would just leave it to DA. I think there's been an ongoing discussion, a weekly thing, and I know DA has been very transparent with those guys throughout that it was going to be a week-to-week thing, and it still is.
Do you think Spencer's mobility is going to open up and well into the offense?
We'll wait and see. He's got to go play the game, and we'll just let his natural ability take over. We'll find out together.
What did you make of the way in college that Spencer was able to deal with kind of get different offensive lines last year, just kind of the ins and outs of unpredictability?
I don't know if I'm answering this right, but I would just say I think it is kind of cool when a guy has been in multiple programs and has had to leave a place and start over and earn the respect of their teammates and lead a new team. I think there's a lot to be said about that. It's definitely something I don't love about college football right now, that there's so much here today, gone tomorrow, but I think it definitely helps these young QBs out when they've had to do it at big-time programs. So I think that really helps in their maturity.
Yeah, he's got 42 college starts and that, something that you see that experience watching him practice and stuff? Yeah,
definitely. I think there's a level of maturity there. You have to when you're on multiple rosters, you got to make new friends. Relate to a lot of different teammates, and you can tell that he's just comfortable in his own skin and comfortable talking to the guys and communicating, and just being one of the guys. I think he's got a really cool personality. Him and Jake both. Those guys are. When you're a quarterback, you got to be able to relate to the whole team, and you got to have a little moxie to you, and you got to have confidence. And Derek Carr, Spencer Rattler, and Jake Haener all have that.
Is that something you ever have to kind of sit down and kind of talk about, or is it all football?
If you do, I think you're in trouble. If you do something, you got to, hey man, I need you to be excited today and relate to your teammates, and and I'm being serious because you've been being around enough guys. It's just like me asking you, hey, to change your personality. Guys have a certain personality to lead and to be the front man of an organization. That's a real tough quality to have. Not everybody has. So I think it's something that God gives you. Your mom and dad help develop it, and then you develop it through college football, and so that's why all three of our guys have that.
Obviously, a lot of other people have final say on draft choices, but was Spencer someone that you and your staff identified as someone you guys really liked in that process?
Well, it all started with Jeff Ireland and Mickey Loomis, and our college scouts do such a great job, and we all work together, but we followed their lead. I think they do a great job, and I really enjoyed our draft process. Such a professional group, and whether it was Spencer or Talley or Bub Means, just really impressive group of college scouts that do their homework.
How long will the leash you Spencer based on
Yeah, that's not something that I'm really worried about. I think we're worried about giving him success, and that's not something I want him to be worried about either. I want him to go play the game, and if you're worried about your leash and when you're coming out, if you make a mistake, I think you're going to be in trouble. And again, that's something that I think if you make it to this level and you're playing quarterback at this level, you're probably not worried about that because you just got to have a little swag and you go play, and bad stuff happens, and go to the next down. Same with us as an offense. Lose some games, who cares? Nobody. We got to go to the next play, go to the next game, and we get a chance to do it. 2 games in a couple of days here, which is great therapy. So I'm looking forward to those 2. He's got it. He's got some swag, man. He's got a natural easiness about him. He's comfortable in his own skin, and that could be said about Jake Haener. He's got some swag too. You guys been out to training camp, see him lead some of those 2-minute drives, and see how fired up he gets, ripping touchdowns. So really cool part of those 2 guys' personality.
Did you notice, when did you first notice Spencer's swag? Was that something in the draft process that he comes out, or how did it happen?
I don't want to overplay the swag thing. It's like it's a nice thing to have, but at the end of the day, are you producing? And you could have my wet blanket personality, and it's about producing. Yeah, those guys got to produce, no matter if they if no matter what their personality is.
Klint, for a rookie quarterback making his first start going up against this particular defensive play caller that likes to put a lot of blitzes, what are the kind of challenges in your end?
Oh yeah, I think you gotta definitely expect them to be aggressive. They've got to play the Washington QB as a rookie. They got to play Bo Nix, so you got to see him play a couple rookies already. And they're such a good defense and talented and aggressive, and we're going to have our work cut out for us. I know Spencer will, but he's not going at it alone. It's a team deal.
How much can a run game help him with quarterback his first game?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, can help him a lot. Get the run game going, and that's whether it's a rookie or a veteran. But as you know, as happened last week in KC, if it's not there, you got to better find a way to change it up real quick and get it going through the air. So a lot of different ways to win a game, and we got to be ready to run it, throw it, do it all.
Looking back at last week, what would you say was the challenge for the run game?
Yeah, well, it's just one of those days where, once you get down and you're not running it the way you want to, then you're down a score, down a couple of scores, and the game changes a little bit. The mentality changes, and so you're not able to stick with it as long. So, hey, Kansas City did a great job. Credit to them.
The injuries on the offensive line, how concerned are you about keeping things like
Shoot, we're gonna go run our offense and do what we do and let him play. And we got enough talent to go get it done. So no, I'm not concerned. Excited about who we have, and is there a lot of guys coming out of the roster? Yes. Are we alone in the NFL with that problem? No.
Like when you lose your whole interior offensive line, like how much does that affect what you're calling? Like you have to do different things to protect against that. Like how do you guys kind of deal with that?
Yeah, I think you're definitely making adjustments as the game goes, and that's just part of coaching. That's part of football.
When you were talking earlier about we're going to find out together a little bit about Spencer. I mean, is there still, even all the preparation you put in, seeing him in practice, is there still, even for you all, an element of the unknown when you put a guy in a game for the first time?
Yeah, there is. But there's not. I haven't met a whole lot of gamers. What they do in practice is usually what happens on Sunday, and so that's why we're confident with this decision.
When you say when the running game's not there, are you talking mostly about the looks you're getting from the defense, or are you talking about, for whatever reason, the guys aren't just executing as well as you would like, or is it both?
It's all of that, and it's coaching, it's play calling, it's everything. It's a team game. As a team, we didn't get it done.
I think you talked after the game about, shot plays is going to be shot plays in that game. Is that a KC thing? Was it just something you saw there? Or what went into that?
Yeah, I think that's something that we talked about going into the game for sure. And there was some plays that we'd love to have back, but when you don't make those plays and it is 2nd and 10, you got to go, move the ball on 2nd down. So and Kansas City did a great job of having a good plan, and we had our opportunities and didn't capitalize on them. That's not something I want him to worry about either.
This is very true. I mean, what Klint Kubiak is saying, man, is he's the Spencer Rattler thing is an interesting dynamic insofar as Spencer Rattler was a quarterback that Klint Kubiak wanted. That was his call. So he made the comment, I think he can handle the full weight of the playbook. And I'm like, okay. But remember, you're gonna see a different energy there with Spencer Rattler because he brings something, an excitability that we haven't seen in a while, And the thing about it, like I said, Klint Kubiak is his selection. Jake Hayner was Pete Carmichael's guy. Carmichael selected him, wanted him, not Klint Kubiak. And Klint Kubiak is not Derek Carr's guy. You know what I mean? He wanted Spencer Rattler. So, because he liked his skill set, and perhaps we'll see some things there, with him having the guy he selected, he wanted. So Dennis Allen made the choice to grab this guy because usually the comparison, if you look at it last year, it's not often we see the Saints taking quarterbacks in back-to-back years. The correlation is you had two different coordinators. Carmichael liked Jake Haener. They selected him. New coordinator, Klint Kubiak, liked Spencer. They selected him. Spencer is a guy that Klint Kubiak prefers at quarterback. So we'll see what that looks like on Sunday. And like I said, I don't think it's a game where it's going to be an exciting game. The only thing is, like he was alluding to it, it's like, man, you got to have a running attack to balance the team. If not, you're going to put all the pressure on his shoulders and make it more difficult than what it needs to be. And of course, he was right. There is nobody boo-hooing over the fact that the Saints have injuries. Everybody's dealing with injuries right now. It appears that we might be getting the short end of the stick, but ultimately it's still very early on. We have a lot of injuries, yes, but the season don't stop because of the injuries. You still have to win. And you know, both the Falcons are sitting and the Bucs are 1-2 in the division. You don't want to give the Buccaneers a win here because if they get the win, Falcons play the Panthers. That can easily turn into 4-2, and the Saints could be 2-4 on the 3 or 4 game slide, which is no good. So this is a very important win, and they got to turn it around, man. The only thing is, I really do hope that try to get as many guys involved in the offense than what we've been seeing over the last couple of weeks. Mason Tipton has to redeem himself. The Saints, obviously, Klint Kubiak favors Mason Tipton. Mason Tipton had a very not so good game. Let's just say it like that. He missed the ball. He didn't drop anything. The ball went through his arms, right through his arms, over his shoulder. It was a difficult catch, but if you're a pro and you expect to have a long career in the NFL, you got to make that catch. Mason is a rookie, just like Spencer is. So they're going to have that. So I'm going to be watching Mason Tipton to see how he rebounds from that non-catch that he had. So anyway, man, that's the big talking point right there is offense, man, with Spencer Rattler. A change at the QB position could spark the offense. They're going to be some y'all know it's going to be a lot of rollout plays. You know that because he'll have to shrink the field for Spencer. And Spencer's good at that because he's accurate on the run, which presents an issue, especially if he is able to, when the pocket, I don't know if it'll open up, but when he gets an opportunity to scramble, perhaps he can do something with it to the point where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will have to keep somebody around him so that it'll free open some more ability to attack the field. So a lot of things, man, to go over. So we'll see. Klint Kubiak has Spencer Rattler, man. Let's see what kind of magic they can work, because we really counting on the rookie. We need to get this win, man. We don't need to go 0-4 over the last 4 games, and then you got Denver on a short week. That is not going to be good. So anyway, let's kind of move on. I'll kind of come to the family members with questions. We're going to listen to a little bit of Joe Woods, not everything from Joe Woods, because, I think Coach Woods is a good dude, man, but his defense, man, is kind of, having some issues stopping the run, man. We are, and then last game, like I said, some breakdowns, but 40 minutes on the field, man, that's not good. Let's hear from Coach Woods, fam. Here we go.
How he's fitting in the run game. This last game, he had some missed tackles. Got to clean that up, obviously, but he's still playing fast, competing.
What's the Paulson and Debo, who, of course, right now is being looked at because of the defensive pass experience penalties.
Yeah.
You talked before about having to kind of manage what you're going to get out of all that. Has anything changed in terms of the way that you look at that? Or
no, you used to always look at the technique. I think the positives from the game, he got the penalty, but that's the fastest dude in the history of the NFL. And that's what I told him, the history of the NFL. And he's running stride for stride. So, his technique at the line was good. Just got to finish down the field better. But I think when you can stay with the guy with that caliber of speed, I think that's confidence for him. It's just clean up his play at the top of the route, his finishes.
It was kind of the main difference between the Bucs offensive scheme from last year to this year.
You know what? you see some carryover. And the thing in this league is, a lot of offenses was, you want to say Shanahan tree with all those guys. It's like everybody comes from that scheme. And you always say in the NFL, it's a copycat league. So if there's good plays on tape, people copy them, and run them. So you see a lot of similarities in terms of what they're doing from last year to this year. I'm sure it's stuff that Baker feels comfortable doing as well.
Yeah, Coach is right, because we talk about this all the time here, man. We talked about how the Kansas City Chiefs, man, their system, what they were running was basically the same plays the Saints were running in weeks 1 and 2. I mean, the exact same plays, which I was befuddled by why the defense was so confused by those plays when they were practicing against some of those plays in practice. So it has those concepts become so alien and foreign to the Saints defense that were practice against said plays against the Kansas City Chiefs, where they didn't know what was going on. They hadn't seen it in practice for so long, they might have forgotten it. I don't know. That was kind of weird, though, but that's a good point.
It seemed like, at least looking at some of the analytic, percentages and things like that, could be true, could be not, but it seemed like there was a lot of a heavier zone focus on defense this past week. Do you agree with that? And if so, like, what was the thinking behind it?
Yeah, there were specific things that we were trying to do, game plan wise, just to create some confusion for them. I think it worked at times. Didn't work enough, but I think it worked at times. And I told the guys, we just, from a coaching standpoint, from a player standpoint, we just didn't execute at a high enough level. And that's what happens when you play good teams. They did some things we didn't expect, we had to adjust to. But I showed the guys, said we had this many missed tackles, we had this many mental errors, we had this many explosives. And I put up our fourth quarter at 16-13. So if we eliminate half of those, right, and we play better, it's a different game. So that's our focus, is just executing whatever we run. It's about us more than it is about them.
How would you describe Mike Evans and what he's done well, what his biggest plus is, and just how impressive is it that a guy can do it at his level for as long as he's been able to do it?
Yeah, I mean, he's a big, physical receiver that plays angry at times, but he's been doing it for a long time. I've coached against him several times. He's just a handful because a lot of times you don't play against receivers that play like defenders. And he has that mentality when he plays, but he's great in terms of the 50-50 catches down the field, his catch radius, his ability to run routes, his speed. They're moving around to get him the ball in certain spots where you can't put your hands on them. But he said he's been playing at a high level for a long time. So, like, we already know what the battle is, so we just got to go and play our best ball.
Do you do things
Just put Ladder Daddy on him, man. That usually works.
different against him than against other guys? Like, is there a Mike Evans plan?
Maybe. No, for sure. You play elite receivers, you got to have something for them. Whether you're rolling the coverage or whether you're putting something in to try to take them away. So, and that's what we do against most guys. But he's definitely got our attention.
No disrespect, man. I'm more concerned about Chris Godwin than I am about Mike Evans. The Saints historically, especially when Marshawn Lattimore's there, do a pretty good job of neutralizing Mike Evans. And Mike Evans is not a bum or a slouch. It's just that he is what we do. We have the key to locking him down. And Chris Godwin's more of the dude I'll be looking more concerned about, to be honest with you, man. I'll be kind of looking at Chris Godwin.
Red zone defense is so good right now.
That's my area. So I want to say I'm doing a good job in terms of presentations. No, but I think the guys, I think down there we don't do a whole bunch. And I think when you have confidence, you're doing the same thing over and over again. And then just the way DA sets up practice in terms of our meetings, exposing the guys to the routes, in terms of the walkthroughs, we get an extra red zone period like today. And then we'll go out tomorrow and have, really focus on the red zone. But I think all in all, the guys just doing a good job executing the game plan.
25% though is kind of an insane number.
Yeah, I really don't look at stats that much. I know that we're pretty good because we get them down there, but it really comes down to guys that's doing their job. And I think we're making it harder on the quarterback because we have enough mix where he doesn't know exactly what it is. And with rush and coverage working together, we're playing well down there.
Just to kind of go back what Coach Woods was saying earlier about you know, how the Saints were playing and all the stuff they were giving up, and it was a close lead. I think he said 16-13, something like that. If you go back and watch the tape, the Chiefs, Pat Mahomes left a lot of plays on the field. He really did. And I was showing them in the Patreon special today. I mean, Tuesday rather. I was showing them like, fam, listen to this. Look at this. Look at that. And it wasn't the prime Chiefs, which that's what I was saying. The Saints should have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs. If they execute, if they do what we're supposed to do, we win the game. Now, you know, a lot of the positives defensively is they did keep it close. They did take a field goal or a touchdown off the board when they got the interception late. They do calcify, as I call it. They get there and they calcify around the goal line, around in the red zone there, and they do a pretty decent job there. But at the end of the day, like I said, man, we have to get better interiorly, like against the run and them running on you and stuff like that. And the Saints were looking at a defensive tackle. He got signed by the Raiders a couple of days ago. They were looking at this guy, and I think he got signed today by the Raiders. So they obviously looking, hey, man, we need to do something about this interior right here. We need to do something. They traded for Ridgeway. And yeah, we kind of get that together right there. I know Big Bank Saunders was, you know, he got busy later on in the game, and hopefully he can bring that same force and that energy. We need Shepard. We need him. We need Brian Bresee. We need Ridgeway. We need, I don't think Christian Boyd played in the last game, but we need our big guys inside to kind of stuff up the run, man, a little bit better here. And we need more pressure, man. We're not getting home like we want to do. We had 2 sacks in the game, but the first time we got Pat Mahomes boys was several plays into the game. He was already in rhythm. You know, we didn't rattle him at all. He was able to slide and glide and do what he does. And, you know, we looking at the best QB in the game. But, you know, like I said, it wasn't a blowout game where the Saints were there. They hang around in these games and they get turnovers. You know, they get, you know, plays where they need to execute on, and you'll say, hey, man, this is a drive. They need to score, and they don't even get a field goal. They don't go down there and do anything. So, you know, they got to figure it out, man. They got to figure it out, because you don't want to be so, you know, so error prone to the point where you turn around over the next 2 games and you're on a 5-game losing streak. You know, you don't want to see that, because if you lose to Tampa, that's not good, man, because they'll have a couple of game lead on you, man. You'd be sitting up there at 2-4. And then, like I said, losing these games like this, and you start separating from losses and wins, like you having 2 wins and all this kind of stuff headed in the wrong direction, that stuff mounts and builds, especially on Dennis Allen. The pressure is going to mount and build even sturdier and heavier, because this is the year, like this is the 3rd year where the pressure's on for him to turn this, to get the team into the playoffs. And your team is, you losing 4 in a row, man. Listen, the pressure is going to be huge. It's going to be very thick. I was saying that, man, when you start having 3-game, 4-game losing streaks, that is not the direction you want to go, because it's difficult to come back from there. Especially, you got to deal with all of that tremendous pressure and adversity. You just don't want to go down there, because I don't think Dennis Allen, from a personality standpoint, could bring a team back from that deep. He just don't appear to have it to me. I could be very wrong on it. I don't think I am, but it's going to be interesting to see how they do it, man. We need to get a win against Tampa Bay, man. We really do. All right, fam, I'm going to get ready to get out on this. If y'all have any questions, please feel free to throw them in the chat quickly, and I'll answer whatever you guys have. And if I can, if not, then I'll do some research and come back to you on that. But any questions, please feel free to throw them in the chat, fam. Cartel says, Q, you think Klint made the choice to start Spencer? I would co-sign that, bro. I would give a thumbs up on that, bro. I agree with you. I think it was definitely Klint's decision to tell Dennis Allen, man, listen, I think he gives us the best chance to win. because really it shouldn't have been all this stuff about Rattler. But like I told you before, Dennis Allen's playing these off-code politics. That's why I don't like him as the coach, because he's so stupid he don't realize that we see what you're doing. And you trying to finagle, even the reporters see what time it is. And then the crazy part about it is me dropping game. I done showed the whole playbook on what the man trying to do. That's why he keeps sprinkling in and telling the people, hey man, the backup quarterback changes from week to week, because when Derek Carr gets healthy enough to play, watch Rattler go back to the emergency quarterback. And then the question should be, hold on. So Rattler's good enough to take over when Carr's hurt, but when Carr's back, he can't be his backup. QB2. That's why he keeps littering that nonsense about with the backup quarterback is just beat. Nobody does that. Nobody cares about that. If the guy won the job in preseason, he's the man. He's the man all the way through, unless he gets hurt or something like that, because they're not playing and competing. The jobs are already set. The only way you lose the job is if you get in the game, you play yourself out of the job, or you don't show up to practice. You don't do what you're supposed to do. But if you're in practice and you're doing what you're supposed to do and you're handling your business, that's going to stay solid all the way through. And as far as I'm concerned, based on what I've seen with training camp and all that kind of stuff, Jake Haener lost the job badly to Rattler. So this is political garbage by Dennis Allen, and everybody sees it. They see his off-code stupidity of trying to protect Carr. You can't protect that guy. That guy is making his money, got $150 million. Let him have a little pressure and competition. That keeps him on point and on game. You can't shield people from that. If it's a football team, they're going to have a roster with people behind him. You can't treat Jake Haener like he's a buffer. That's what he's doing. He's using Haener as a buffer. Between them, he was disappointed. Yeah, you doing that. You're doing that to him. Don't tell him, hey man, you won the job. And Jake Haener I don't know if he's Jake Haener. Listen, man, let me be real with you, bro. You know damn well you didn't win that QB job. You're not that deluded in your mind to know that some kind of way you ain't even throw a goddamn touchdown in the preseason. This man had what, 3 of them? How many did Spencer Rattler throw? He directed the offense better. And really, if you was an on-code person, you'd have went in there and say, hey, Dennis Allen, I don't know what you're doing, but really Spencer should be the quarterback. He beat me in camp. Ain't no way in the world I'd be up here presenting like I'm the backup quarterback too. I'm not seeing that. I was like, man, listen here. That's some sneaky, underhanded, back-ass shit right there. Jake Haener doing. You know you're not the backup quarterback. You did not win the job. You know you didn't. You know you got placed there illegally in my term. And I'm saying illegal because he violated the code, the competition code. The man won it straight up. You know you didn't win the job. Keep it real. You didn't win that damn job. You and everybody in the Who Dat Nation know that. You didn't win the job. So it shouldn't be no disappointment on his side. It really shouldn't. It shouldn't be. If you don't want to be used by a buffer, you got a goddamn brain. You see what that asshole doing. Tell him, hey, man, you're not going to use me like this. That man need to be the quarterback because that's what he doing. I'm telling y'all, man, that's why guys like this. That's why I was saying about the team has talent and people misinterpreted when I'm saying the team has Super Bowl talent. But in order to take the talent to get to the Super Bowl, it take a coach to be able to do that, and not just knowledge of a goddamn defense or this, that, and the third. It's principles and fundamentals as a person you have to get there. And this guy would play tricks and games on a rookie quarterback. Just like that is petty. It's just deceitful and it's underhanded. And there's no wonder why Dennis Allen is a loser as a head coach, because he's off code and people see that. If I can see it, I know them players see that, man. I know the wide receivers and the people's, man, what Dennis Allen talking about up in here, man. If I'm saying it and you saying it, I'm telling you them players in there saying it, man. I said the same thing last year. I was like, man, them people in there talking, it'll come out. It always does. Every offseason it comes out. The truth comes out every offseason. So I'm like, man, ain't nowhere in the world Haener should be the backup quarterback. He did not win the job righteously. So he shouldn't be no disappointment. You ain't do shit. How many? I think he didn't even throw a touchdown in the preseason. It was glaringly obvious, man. Keep it real, man. If you don't want to be a buffer, then don't let the dude treat you like that. Speak up for yourself and keep it real. Ryzen says, Q, do you think Kubiak went vanilla on the play call for leverage? For leverage? What do you mean leverage, bro? I don't know what you mean by leverage. Him trying to leverage against Dennis Allen for some purpose? I don't know. I don't understand your question. Cartel says, why do it seem like Dennis is trying to help Sean Payton build up his roster to a degree? I mean, that's what the Will Lutz thing was. He traded a very good kicker. And he was like, Q, he was hurt. Man, the man had core surgery. He had core surgery, and then he was supposed to come back that year. When he had the surgery, then he had a setback. So they benched him. They ain't benched him. They kept him on IR because it got to a point where they would have to make a decision on whether to bring him back from IR. And they decided to keep him on IR because he wasn't totally healthy. Then when the next year came around, he had to learn how to kick all over again, and he had an off year. Look how he's doing for Denver right now. Sometimes that's happened. You got to look at the injury. But, man, we knew that was going to happen because even what was the sense of giving Denver a third-round selection for Sean Payton when the people was like Sean Payton and whatever the Saints gave him Sean Payton, and they gave him a first and a third or something like that. I forgot what it was. No, a first and the fourth. I don't know. I don't remember. Y'all remind me. But the Saints Mickey Loomis turned around and sent Sean Payton to Denver and put a third-round pick in. I was like, Mickey Loomis, why you sent that third-round pick with him to help out Payton? Because that trade with the Russell Wilson thing and all that kind of left them bare for picks. And when Sean Payton took over the job, he didn't have a lot of draft capital. So when the Saints sent them out there, Mickey Loomis sent the third-round draft pick to Denver to help Sean Payton. They ain't said it like that, but why else would you give up a third when all you needed to do was trade the coach rather, for the picks? See, they've been doing it. They do sneaky, underhanded shit. That's why I be calling out these guys like that, man. You like the guy, send him a goddamn birthday present, a new pair of golf clubs or whatever the hell y'all do. Don't play around with picks and players to help these guys out. And that's what I'm against, man. But that's how stupid these people are, man. They do some really stupid shit like we don't see what you doing and we ain't gonna call you out for doing that. By the way, we were the only one talking about that. So, I mean, it is what it is, fam. We just do what we do. Relax Music and Rain Sound says, Q, what's your favorite high school football team? Sheesh. Man. My favorite high school football team. I don't know, man. Oh man, I don't know. Back in the days, man, when I was playing football, man, we used to play against. There was Kennedy. There was Aberson. I went to Reed, so it was Reed against Aberson. That was a big rivalry. And then there was Kennedy. There was McDonald 35. There was Fauché. There was Warren. Well, Warren Easton was something else. But those guys were always, they were, on another level. I remember the Shaw and all those teams and stuff like that. John Ehret, even West Jeff and all those teams. I remember all those old times, man. But yeah, I don't have a favorite high school football team, man. I don't have a favorite high school. I remember one time we played Newman, and boy, those guys was like, they ran us up out of there, man. The guys, they were playing like a college team, man. It was so organized. But I hope that helps, man. Shout out to you, man. I hope I can, hope that I don't have one. All right. So anyway, let's keep it going, man. Any other question before I get ready to dart out of here, man? All right. Shout out to y'all, man. All right. Okay. Ryzen says, do you think the offense bad play a power move by Kubiak? I don't think so. I don't think he's that Machiavellian, bro. I really don't think so. I just think what he's doing, he's the guy is trapped on the talent. We have Elvin Kamara, and Elvin Kamara is so good. We got to get him here, and then the next play he might break it or this type of stuff. But the thing is, you can still have Elvin Kamara on the field. You don't have to use him as a running back all the time. You can use him as a wide receiver. You can decoy him. Even if Elvin doesn't get the ball and you spread him out, it'll stretch the defense and give another player an opportunity to make a play. We don't have to force the ball, force feed Rashid Shaheed is what the Saints was doing, to kind of open up things. And then we went to Mason Tipton, and a couple of times Derek Carr overthrew the man. If he'd have hit on a couple of those Mason Tipton throws, not the one where he just went through his arms, but there was a couple of throws he made when he just overthrew the man. The sideline throw, he just threw it out of bounds. I said, I wish you would have thrown that ball when you was trying to throw the throw-up ball to Rashid Shaheed. Who you think, he A.T. Perry? That's when you wish you would have had A.T. Perry out there to get one of them 50-50 balls, because Chris Olave's, 6 feet tall? Rashid's, 6'1"? They both 6'1" wide receivers. They ain't big guys. That's where you have to have a A.T. Perry type guy that's 6'4", 6'5", that can be a 50-50 ball guy that can go up there and get it. We don't have that guy right now. We don't have that attack the 50-50 ball kind of guy. I mean, Cedric Wilson has been noticeably absent, but none of that I don't think he's that Machiavellian, bro, to be honest with you. I just think he just suck right now. You got to figure it out. He just my honest assessment on watching Klint Kubiak's offense right now, the big difference is, if you look at it, it's very easy to see. Like, a lot of the plays that confuse the defense, he don't even do them no more. He took them out of there. He did those plays. Like, you've seen the Chiefs were running the plays the Saints usually were running, and they were doing it. And I was like, can we borrow some of these plays that Kansas City was on, how they was just getting the ball to their tight end and getting him involved? So the defense key on him. Then they went over here and they got Juju Smith-Schuster going in the game, and he was the third wide receiver. And Juju was tearing the Saints up, killing them, moving the ball, getting it downfield. And remember, and they didn't even have a passing touchdown. Mahomes had an interception. He didn't have a passing touchdown. They had 2 rushing touchdowns. They were able enough to beat the Saints in a bunch of field goals. So, I mean, could we mimic some of these places? We do have talented tight ends. Let's get some of these guys involved. Juwan Johnson, I don't know, but how about getting some, mixing in some Dale and Hawker, getting him involved more? How about getting Jordan Mims? I keep calling for Jordan Mims, but they don't listen. The guy, Jordan, who's that? Number 33, you picked him on your goddamn team. He's on the active roster every damn week, and you don't play nothing? Jordan Mims? A guy that has speed and can catch the ball like a wide receiver. Remember him? The guy was tearing up training camp, had all these beautiful accolades, but when the season come, you ain't got shit to show for it. All right, it's just a weird thing. And then, of course, Taysom Hill more than likely is not going to be there. So I don't know, man. Even the end around runs or the reverse runs where you give the speed wide receiver an opportunity to get the ball so he can get around the edge behind the wide receivers. It's crazy. Like, if you give Rashid Shaheed, he was doing that in games 1 and 2, getting Rashid Shaheed involved in that running attack. None of that's happening the last several games. None of that. Totally just went away with it. What you're doing is not working, bro. That's the bottom line. Is also, it's not just the injury standpoint, fam. Remember what I said when the first 2 games was happening? I said, fam, listen, the rest of the league hadn't caught up with the Saints yet. I said that. I said the test will be when they do catch up. How do you adjust and adapt? Remember that? Put one in the chat if you remember that. And they adapted pretty well. It's the Saints didn't show too many new successful wrinkles. Maybe they did 1 or 2 things here or there, but none of the successful stuff that counts that teams sit up and take notice. So now you got a pound of injuries, a ton of injuries going on with offensive line talent, and there is no violins playing for you right now. Well, yeah, there are violins playing for you, a boo-hoo, because everybody got it going on. Everybody got injuries. You still have to run the ball. You still have to figure a way to get it done. If not, you're going to be fired. He probably will stay on if they fire Dennis. That'd probably be a show for a later date. If they fire Dennis Allen, who takes over the team, it ain't going to be Klint Kubiak. I promise you that. It ain't going to be him. It probably to be either it'll be either, to me, it'll be Joe Woods or it'll be Rick Dennison. That's what I'm probably looking at. Joe Woods or Rick Dennison. I don't think it'll be Klint Kubiak. He's still got a lot of work to do to get there. Mark says, do you think Kubiak's going to dial up plays that Rattler likes? Absolutely. Do you think that he's going to continue dialing up plays for Carr? He has to. That's a part of the job of him getting going. But Kubiak and Rattler, he's going to do some stuff. Like, remember, it's like the fit. Like, Kubiak came here. Carr is the starting quarterback. You got to work with him. It's a different relationship, offensive coordinator to quarterback, because this guy, you drafted him. You didn't have nothing to do with that other guy. And you could talk about all this swag shit, and I understand what he's doing. He's just trying to say something that's universally pleasant to all three quarterbacks. But realistically speaking, Rattler's better than Haener. And Derek Carr is getting blasted in many circles because of his own play. Him turning around and throwing that ball up to grab on that really good offensive series to start the Kansas City game was child's play. That was ridiculous. That in every quarter, this is an 11-year quarterback that should know better than to turn and just throw the damn ball up in the air like that. You're an 11-year quarterback. How you do something so stupid to hurt your team? But in the end, the relationship between Carr and Kubiak is different than Kubiak and Rattler. It's not he said, hey, that's my guy. I want that guy. And he drafted him, and he likes his skill set. That's why he said in the presser that he sees him kind of giving him the playbook unrestricted. And I was like, oh yeah. Okay, well, okay, we'll see. But yeah, I think he'll dial it up for Rattler, and plus on top of that, they got to do something, fam. They can't afford to lose this Tampa Bay game. They need to win that game. If they lose that game, Tampa goes to 4-2. Atlanta going to beat Carolina. They're going 4-2. The Saints going in a different direction. They'll be 2-4. That's too much. Then the pressure comes. Then everybody's coming for Dennis Allen. The pressure really mounts and builds then. And I don't think he got it to get out of that. So he might not want to go in that house. That's a burning house that Dennis Allen doesn't want to go in. I promise you that, because I'm more than certain he don't have enough to get it out of there. All right. What's up, Mark? He says, what about that purple? Yeah. Yeah, I remember the Purple Knights, man. They were the standard, man. I forgot about St. Aug, man. St. Aug's always the favorite, man. I got respect for St. Aug, man. I never went there. I knew that they were really awesome, man. They were in a Catholic league, I think it was at the time. I think it was called the Catholic League with Brother Martin. It was Brother Martin. It was Shaw. I want to say Newman was in the Catholic League too. I want to say it was Newman with Peyton Manning and Eli when they played. I want to say it was the Catholic League, which was pretty good. Those were good games too. All right. Mr. O says, Q, my bad, bro. I'm sorry, bro. Yeah, that's on me. How can I forget the Purple Knights, right? All right. He says, Q, black on would be good for the team. Black helmets. Yeah. All right. Louisiana says, facts, Q, Rattler finally going to be the one to feed Olave and the rest of the offense. I like Rattler, man. At first, I was like, I wanted to get the other quarter. Y'all know how it went. Yeah, he said that's why I asked it don't make sense what Kubiak's doing. Yeah, I don't think he's that Machiavellian to be like trying to double team Dennis Allen so we can get him out of there. He'd be doing a lot of, that. I don't think he's like that. I just think he's struggling right now. He just stinks right now. In his play selection, he having great difficulty adjusting to get everybody else involved because he doesn't have the same, I ain't gonna say respect, but confidence is the better word. That's the only way you don't get these other guys involved. You don't get them involved. You picked them. Why aren't they getting any opportunities more? Because you don't have any confidence in them like he has. Well, I can remember these are my guys. I'm gonna ride with these guys. But you don't see Jamal Williams getting the ball late in the game. You don't see, because there's certain times like you got to set positions and players in positions to win. We know most of the time, fundamentally speaking in football, that if you have a north-south thumper back, that guy is supposed to be used a lot in the second half of the game because defenses get tired and they don't want to tackle a north-south thumper back. We seen that happen in the Saints game against the Philadelphia Eagles when Barkley got going on the Saints when they were using dives and draws and delayed draws against the Saints defense and having big time success. We seen it happen in the Atlanta game when Tyler Algieri got in the game and they were running them off of tackle, right tackle, left tackle, up the middle on some dives, a few draws. And it was really Tyler Algieri putting in the work. Bijan Robinson wasn't really doing like that. It was Tyler. Tyler was brutalizing the Saints. And then you seen it happen in the Chiefs matchup. You know, their running back got involved with dives and delayed draws and draw plays. The same stuff because they studying the film saying the Saints defense is susceptible. But credit to the Saints, bend but don't break type of situation. But the offense at times is not doing, they're not capitalizing on short fields. They're not doing the things needed to get on the opposite side of the field. And even sometimes we don't even get in opportunity in position to kick field goals. You know, we ain't even getting in position to get 3 here or there. You know, we'll get to their side of the field right around that 40, 45 yard line. And then we'll stall out there and have to punt the ball. So we're not even getting that stuff. We have to change some stuff around. I ain't gonna lie about it. Yeah, you ain't lying, brother. It's getting kind of. Let me play that one, man. That's right. It's getting kind of hectic. Yes. All right. Yeah. Oh, no, Jason. Cabot is not on the practice squad. Remember, they released Cabot. They released him. They cleared out. They released him off the practice squad to clear up in the spot for an offensive lineman. I think it was the guy from Minnesota. I think it was a 9-year vet, but Jacob Cabot got released. Hold on. I don't know where he is now, but I know he's not with the Saints unless they slipped in and got him. Cause yeah, he ain't on. I don't think he with the Saints anymore. Yeah, he's a free agent right now. Yeah, he's the Saints put him in the street for somebody else, man, for offensive lineman. So somebody will pick him up, man. Somebody will pick him up. But yeah, that kid was good, man. Yeah, he was pretty good. We just kind of let it go. We just kind of let the man roll, man. All right, yeah, they let him go. All right, and then finally, Mark says when Taysom gets back, we have to stop playing him as a running back. He ain't built like that. They need to keep him on special teams and have him play QB here and there. That works. I don't know, bro. I think I'm not mad at him being a fullback because that's what the use check system, they use him as fullback and tight end, right? They'll use him, you know, in that way. But this guy's getting carried away. Like he allowed Taysom's skill set to make him lazy, where he doesn't want to use other players involved. Like having Taysom out there to do this and then bringing another player in there only helps the other player, because if you have Taysom and Elvin in the game, Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed, they're looking at those guys. They're not paying attention to Jamal Williams or Jordan Mims. They're not paying attention to them, and that's what you hit them with, the tight end, whatever. They're paying attention to those guys, and rightfully so. Many of them tell you that if those guys are cooking you, if you can beat us with those guys, you can have the win. You're just not going to beat us with these guys. They'll tell you that, because you can't game plan for everybody. So that's what I'm seeing, man. So yeah, this dude gets lazy in his play calling, and it's like, dude, the three losses, it was just, you know, you're looking at the tape, and I don't know how you study tape, and you got to be upset. If you're the offensive line coach, you got to be pissed off. You got to be pissed off with how these backup linemen look on tape. Because even if you're not the fastest dude or whatever, I don't expect you to be McCoy or something like that. but I expect you to do your job. I expect you to block the guy in front of you and not stand there and let the man run around you to hit your quarterback. And that's why I'm saying, like, when you see these guys are not where you thought they were level wise, it's time to go find some other guys, man. We need to go find some veterans. We got to go find some people, and we got to bring them in here, because if you're in dire straits right now, you got to find linemen that can block, at least run block. And that's the thing. It's like, okay, pass block. No, listen, I'm not worried about pass block right now. I just need guys that can block, that can run block, because I got to run the ball. I got to run the ball to tire out their defense. I got to run the ball to control the clock. I got to run the ball to set up my play action. I got to run the ball, because if I'm running the ball, I'm going to make you compromise your playbook, because if I'm running the ball and eating up clock, my defense is fresh, which means that they can put pressure on the court. All that changes. And the Saints was supposed to, they tricked us, kind of deceived us a bit, because they were supposed to use a running back committee approach that involved Elvin, Jamal, Taysom, Kendra Miller, or Jordan Mims. They were supposed to have 3 or 4 running backs in the room that they were supposed to use, because we knew going into season football wise that Derek Carr did not know enough of Kubiak's offense yet to be relied upon to win games. So whatever you're going to do, you're going to have to use the power of the running room to be able to move the football to set up the play action, because you ain't shit without the play action. The Saints you've seen plays where the Saints don't set up the play action because they're not scared of them running the football, right? And then they hit you with the play action. As soon as Carr turn around, they got 2 guys in his face. Play action, it doesn't work that way. You got to run the ball and create the running attack and make the run a threat to the defense. And then when they start getting down there, then you can go over the top. Like, a lot of times we be in violation because we're not running the ball effectively enough, but we're trying to go into play action, and they're like, man, what you doing? We're not fooling. That's not going to work. The play action actually works against you. It only works if you use it properly. So that's what I'm saying. We need to be able to get whatever the result is. We got to go find linemen that can actually run block. We just put, big road graders wherever you can go and find them at until we get our guys back. And by the way, once we get our guys back, we'll have those and our guys, which means our line will be better fortified against injury going into the season, because we only 5 weeks. What was it? 6 weeks in now? Well, how many games is it? 6 games now? So it's a long season. They have guys out there. The Saints just not doing it. The Saints are not going where they believe they have the right guys. Well, we'll see if they got the right mentality here, because it's a very tough mountain. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers is not a bullshit organization. They're not a bullshit team. This is a team that won a division 3 times in a row. They got Baker Mayfield's playing a good brand of ball. They got good wide receivers. Their defense is not what it used to be, but it's still a sturdy defense that can get after you. Kalaja Kansey ain't no joke. And the rest of those guys out there, they can still play. Antoine Winfield and Whitehead, those guys can play. So, they ain't no joke. Plus the fact that their home got tore up, they're going to be spiritually in this game. So it ain't going to be no walk in the park. So, man, listen, it's going to be tough. We need it. All right, anyway, man. What's up, slave mentality? Mark says exactly. Williams and Mims is who they should dial up for plays, for give them some reps. They need to keep it real like this boy. Hey, bro, listen, I just want to win, bro. And that's what I'm saying. Appreciate the compliment. I just want to win. I just want us to get everybody involved, because I realize that once you get everybody involved, the game changes, because the pressure's off the stars, and the stars, you can use them to draw attention, and other players can get involved. I know Jordan Mims can help the Saints offense. I know he can, because he has the proper skill set he can catch the ball out the backfield. He has good vision on the runs. And I ain't talking about running them in there on that saggy offensive line, but if you need people to get around or set up, he can help there. It's on Klint Kubiak, man. If he don't get this shit turned around, he going to put Dennis Allen on the street for us. He going to put him on the streets. All right. So anyway, man, I'm going to call that in there. But listen, I appreciate all y'all for chiming on the stream today, man. Much love to the fam. Appreciate y'all. We'll be back on the Friday stream, man. We'll do the Saints Bucs preview stream on Friday. Yeah, it might be Friday, or it'll be Friday. We'll do the Saints preview stream, Saints Bucs preview stream. We'll break the game down. We'll hit all of the statistics, the the key matchups and things we need to pay attention to. We'll do all that tomorrow on our Friday stream. But, man, it's going to be interesting, man, to see what happens with the Saints, man, coming up on Sunday, man. And, man, we got to win. We need this win, fam. We need this victory. We can't be going four down, man. That's not the road you want to travel. You got to stay. We got to beat the Bucs. We got to stay within close to the Falcons. We spotted them this win. We got to stay close to them. And on top of that, man, we can't have the Falcons sitting up here talking about going to the Super Bowl in the New Orleans in the Caesar Superdome. We can't have that. You know, and that's what make me mad. Like, people don't get it, man. When you lose games to your hated rivals, that get your ass fired, man. That'll get you out of here, man. You losing games to your rivals, man, that'll get you out of here quick, man. You can't be losing to the Falcons, dog. And spotting them 14 points and that'll get you gone, man. Can't be losing to no Falcons, bro. We got to fix this. All right, so anyway, with that being said, y'all do me a service, man. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Feel free to share the show on social media feed. That always helps us out. If you're listening via X, give us a like and a retweet. That helps us out. And also shout out to our sponsors, man. Mint Mobile for good phone service for inexpensive prices. Check out Mint Mobile. Links in the description section. Teej Henley, that's men's skincare, man. Y'all feel free to check that out. Heavily endorsed by Reference Saint. Yeah, baby. You know, so check that out, man. You can get 20% off with the link there. And also check out Bet Online as well. So all those are our sponsors. Shout out to those guys. And also, please check out our merch. Links is in the description section as well. The Show Me merch and also the Rise Up to Fall Down. You know, get that in time for week number 10, I think it is. Week number 10, we see the Falcons again. So y'all check that out. Anyway, with that being said, y'all have a great night, man. I'll see y'all on Friday stream. Much love. And
Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 huh? Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a Falcon. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Say they gon' beat them Saints. Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that?
Bet Online is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. Bet Online has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during games. Think you know your stuff? Get in on our $200,000 mega contest and pick 5 games against the spread every week for your chance at weekly prizes and a share of $200,000. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Bet Online. The game starts here.
whothatdaily.com. That's right, the whothatdaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, whothatdaily.com is your site. The whothatdaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop.